Hello and welcome to episode 16 of the Crochet Luna podcast. My name is Claudia and I'm coming to you from the San Diego area in Southern California. Welcome to all new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you are someone who has been watching me for a while, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you are here with me and in this really exciting episode. Of course, we will be talking about the fortune cookie cow, which I'm really excited about the response to this cow idea. So let's get started. I just want to say a couple things. I'm recording on a new device. This is a new phone for me. I updated my phone that I've had for about 3 years, which I love that phone. It was a Samsung Note 4. I told my husband, I have zero interest in getting a new phone. This one's worked great for me. I recorded 15 podcasts on that phone, but there was an update and it kept saying update. So I updated my phone last Wednesday and then my phone stopped working. Yeah. It would shut down, it would freeze. Nothing was working on it the way it was supposed to, and I was very upset. I called my phone carrier and they're like, well, how do you know it was the update? Could it be anything? And I'm like, my phone was working perfect before then. Then it's like, well, how old is your battery? And I'm like, I put a new battery on my phone like about 3 months ago. My phone was working fine, you guys. So then they had me do a factory reset, which is fine. I don't keep anything on my phone. I download all my pictures every week. My phone, I run it light because I know it's old. It doesn't have a lot of apps. Anyway, reset the phone, didn't work. And a family member just had a medical emergency and people were trying to get a hold of me. My cousin was trying to get a hold of me and she said that she would call me and the call would fail. And I thought, I can't have that. So I had to get a new phone. So I am recording on a new device, a new phone, and so hopefully it will be okay. What was interesting is that the guy at the phone store said, "Oh yeah, I always tell my clients, if you have an older phone, never do the updates. Those updates are for the new phones and they always screw up older phones." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" So very frustrating, you guys, very frustrating. Also, I would like to say that in the US right now is a very important time of the year. I'm laughing because only people who know about this are going to understand what I'm saying. You'll understand my pain. It is Girl Scout cookie season. My daughter's a Girl Scout, and this Saturday we will be picking up cookies to sell. So, to all you Girl Scout moms out there, my heart is with you because I know how crazy it is. And I just want to say, I am a huge supporter of Girl Scouts. It's an amazing organization. So, to all of you who do not have Girl Scouts, but see all those little Girl Scouts out there trying to sell their cookies, buy a box, please. Support your local Girl Scouts. These girls do amazing things throughout the year with the funds that they raise during cookie season. So I'm just pitching a nationwide Girl Scout cookie season send off, whatever you want to call it. So support your local Girl Scout is all I'm saying. But next, I forgot to do the giveaway last episode. I had a giveaway for the Hook to Heal book by Catherine Versillo. This is the lady who put together the mandalas for Marinka, and I hope I'm saying that right. If Marinka is not the way you say her name, please correct me. She also went by Wink, but this is Catherine's book, A Hook to Heal. It's 100 exercises for health, growth, connection, inspiration, and honoring your inner artist. This is the book that is part of the giveaway that I did. The prompt on my Ravelry group was Tell me about how crochet is more than a hobby for you. Tell me what crochet means to you. Tell me, what was the other question? Let me see. What is the importance of crochet in your life? I had 11 people participate in this Ravelry thread. I was incredibly touched by your responses. I'll say it again. I think it's incredible that our craft, just hook and yarn, can bring so much to someone's life. And so I'm really sorry that I honestly I just ran out of time and I just couldn't do the giveaway. But I will read to you some of the responses, some of the excerpts of the things that people shared with me. You know, Atrinka said that crochet is the connection with her mom. Um, she is a star crocheter, and is the perfect role model for me. And then we have people who, talk about how crochet helps them deal with mental health issues, which is one of the big things that Catherine um, deals with as well in her blog. All of this whole Mandalas for Marinka was about bringing mental health awareness. And um, for me, I know I have some anxiety issues, and I find that crochet helps me to relieve a lot of that anxiousness and just stress, because I tend to just fixate on certain things, and then if they're not done a certain way, then I just get stressed out. And so a lot of times I've got to step back and just pick up some yarn, pick up a hook, and then just crochet the stress or the anxiety away. But I had people talk about again creative escape from stress, so it helps people with their stress. Um, People who crochet to donate for charity. There is a lady called um, Joan Clinips 45. She says, I crochet baby hats to donate and shawls for an organ donor program. Now, if you have seen my videos before, you know that I'm a big fan of Jillian of the Cuckoo for Cows podcast. She worked for an organization called, let me see, I don't, uh, I don't remember off the top of my head, but they donate shawls to people who have lost loved ones, um, and whose loved ones have donated organs. So Wrapped in Love, that's the name of their organization. So she used to work for Wrapped in Love, and that's if you're looking to donate a shawl, we tend to crochet so many shawls throughout the year, and inevitably, like what happened with me is, like, I had this shawl that I wanted to try to crochet. I did it, I loved it, but then I never used it. And so I sent it to Wrapped in Love, and I hope that it brings comfort to whoever received it. And our big winner, though, you guys are incredible. Our big winner is Moez Crochet, and I want to read to you what she wrote. Crochet has given me an identity. Being a blind person with no other special gifts, being able to use my hands to create things that are not only practical but beautiful has given me a purpose in the world. That's pretty incredible. Um, I'm so touched by that. But here's a fellow crocheter, a fellow crafter in our community who is blind, and she's crocheting, and crochet, like she says, gives her an identity. So Moez Crochet, you have won the Hook to Heal book. I will message you on Ravelry and get this out to you as soon as you get back to me. Now, let's talk about, let's see how, I really am winging it. I usually do very detailed notes before I sit down, but it's been a crazy week. I had my daughter's birthday on Saturday. I was wiped out Sunday. My husband's out of town. It's 10:52 a.m. I'm supposed to meet someone at 11:30 for lunch. I am learning, I'm shadowing her because hopefully I will be able to take over the art program at my daughter's school. So I am helping out to run the after school. Well, no, actually not after school anymore. It's during school, the art program at my daughter's school, which, it's so sad that we don't teach art in schools anymore. That it's just been written off as something that's not important because we've got to get these kids ready for these tests and other academic things, when art and PE are things that should be a given, I think. So when the school contacted me to see if I was interested in volunteering um, to help teach kids how to do art, I said, of course, sign me up. But the lady who has been doing it for many years actually has been nothing but lovely and is going to train me on how to do it, and so then I can put my spin on it. So I will be teaching kids how to make art. Isn't that amazing? I tell you, I'm all about, it's really funny because I've put it out to the universe that I want opportunities to contribute. I want opportunities to contribute with the skills that I know. And two things have come up, and one of them is this teaching art at the school. So I'm really happy to be doing that. Let's talk about my current whips. I really don't have too many finished objects, but that's okay. I find that it's better for me to do a podcast every 3 weeks than every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks for me seems a little bit too short of a time frame, and I always feel like if I take my time, I produce better content. So I felt a little rushed, but I had to do the podcast today because we got to get going on our fortune cookie cow. So I don't have a lot of FOs, but I do have some whips I want to talk to you guys about. Number one being my crisscross shawl, which I've been working on. And this is one of the shawls that I will be taking to Yarndale this year, and I'll show you where I'm at. Last time I showed you, I was here where this stitch marker is, and then I've done a whole second block, and I did a whole other section of the crisscross here, the lattice work, and I'm working on the third block right here. And so let's see, yeah. Oh, I wanted to share this with you. Charlie from the Love Charlie podcast sent me a lovely little sea star marker right there. And then this one here, I'm only going to talk about this one because this one has a lot of meaning to me. This is a little cross. And I spent the first half of my freshman year in high school in El Salvador. I went to school there, and I hadn't done my first communion, and so my grandmother was like, "You are going to go do your first communion." So picture me, a freshman in high school, and I'm doing my first communion with a bunch of 7-year-olds. That was like so much fun, right? So I had to go on this this retreat. And one of the things that we got was, as a souvenir, was a pencil, and on top of the pencil was this little cross, and it's made out of a seed that is, they carve it and they paint it. Well, the pencil's long gone, and I always kept this little cross because I really loved it. Oh, there's here. I don't think I showed you this side here, if you can see it. So that's one side, and that's the other side. So I've always kept that, and now that I'm doing this whole experimenting with different crafts, I've been making some stitch markers, and I found my little cross, and I decided I would make a stitch marker out of it, and I love it. So that is where I'm at with crisscross. Then next I had the lovely Claire of Bob Wilson 123 contact me several weeks ago. I think it's been like 3 weeks. And she asked me to test crochet a new shawl pattern that she has. And so I said, absolutely, I will do it. And then I got sick. So I was actually messaging back and forth with Claire yesterday. And it turns out, and if you follow her, you know all about this. Her neighbor dug up the cable where she lives. So she is without internet, and she won't have internet for like another week. And it's been really frustrating. She has no internet at her house. She has like no phone reception. We live in an age where we feel very connected through our devices. And although I think she said it was nice for a couple of days, now it's just like crazy, right? So she, if you haven't heard from Claire, it's because she's got no internet. And the pattern, she doesn't know when she'll have the tutorial up because she's still trying to work through those issues. But it is a beautiful pattern. It's called the Jessica Shawl. If you've seen Clarissa Beth's latest podcast, Crochet Cake's latest podcast, you will see a full version of the Jessica Shawl, and you will see how beautiful it is. Clarissa Beth did an amazing job. It looks gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. And it's a granny stitch shawl. I'll show you. I asked Claire if it was okay to share, and she said it was okay. So it's like a crescent shawl. It's got this beautiful border right here. You can see like a detail of the border right there. And it works up really quick. I'm actually working it in a Madeline Tosh vintage in worsted weight. The colorway is Sagittarius. It's a Tosh vintage. And the colorway is Sagittarius, which was gifted to me, I want to say last fall. My cousin's wife. It's like funny because you guys know I have a lot of cousins, right? Well, it's like I always, when you get married, if your husband has sisters, you got sisters-in-laws or brothers-in-laws. But my cousins to me are like my siblings. We're very close. So when they get married, I want to say cousin-in-law, but it sounds weird. So I just call all their spouses cousin. They're my cousins. So my cousin's wife, who is now just my cousin, gifted me some beautiful yarn. She used to live in Reno, where the Jimmy Bean's wool store is, and she went in there and went crazy and bought me a ton of yarn. But here's where I'm at with my beautiful Jessica shawl. It's granny stitch. This is a granny stitch half crescent shawl. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. It's working out beautifully. You definitely need to use stitch markers for this pattern, but that pattern is not difficult. Like I was telling you last week, I am on this hot pink, red. That's craze. Like that's where I want to be. Like I'm living in those colors. That's all I want to crochet with. That's all I want to look at. I'm crazy for the reds and the pinks. So this is what the yarn looks like. It's very, very red. It's very red, and it's got, I would say, some pink, not pink, like dark, not quite black, but super saturated reds in it. And when you crochet it up, here's an example of it. Look at the corner. See how it's got this sort of like dark, deep red? It's just absolutely lovely. Rosina from the Zines and Roger podcast is doing a granny along where you can crochet any project using the granny stitch pattern. I don't know if this tutorial will be out before Rosina's crochet along ends. I hope it is, because you need to make it. It is absolutely gorgeous. Moving on to my project queue, my PQs, I have one PQ in that list, which is my entry into the KCACY Ultraviolet Cow that Vivian and Allison are running. I have chosen an oldie but goodie for me. It is the Winter Waves Chevron Cow by the website Creation Crochet. This is a free pattern. I've done many of these in the past. It's one of the first patterns that I used to learn how to read crochet patterns. So I am going to make this, and I am going to use, and I love this super bright, highly saturated purple. Lion Brand's Vanna's Choice has, I think, the perfect ultraviolet. So it's going to be this one for the main cowl. And then the chevron is going to be made up of these. So it's going to be these for the chevron and this for the main part of the cowl. So I'll be starting that soon. And like I said, it is by creationcrochet.com, and it's very simple. I mean, I'm really crazy about cowls right now, so I really want to make this. And I will, if I find some of my older pictures of the cowls that I made, I will pop them in so that you can see them. And it's living in, oh my god, I'm so excited to show you this. I went on, now I'm getting a little confused because I'm doing Instagram Live, so I don't know what I've shown or not shown. But this is my my bag that I bought from Angelica from Stitch Con Amor. Oops. So it is a cassette tape. And this is, I think, her library tote, but I told her to put small handles on it. So this is where I'm putting my KCACY. I'm trying to look for her card. Guys, it's such a mess in this desk. It's really crazy. Like, I cleaned everything off, and then I got ready for the podcast, and now it's like, holy cow. Holy guacamole. And I'm running out of time. I gotta head out soon. So I'm probably gonna do this video in like 2 parts, because I've got to run out of here in like 4 minutes. Yeah. Oh, and then did you see my Crochet Luna pin is right there. Love this pin. I think when I go to Yarndale, I was watching Christy Glass Knits today, and I'm totally taking her idea. She's going to EYF, and she's got this really cute pin of, she's got this ultra personality called the Dominator, and she has a full-on costume, and she's created a pin of the Dominator, and so she said she's going to wear like a lanyard, and then she'll have pins to trade with people. So I thought, that is a brilliant idea. So when you see me at Yarndale this year, I will have a lanyard, I don't know how to say it, and it's going to have a bunch of Crochet Luna pins that I would love to trade with people if you're interested. So come up to me and trade a pin. I don't know. Yes, so I've got that as my PQ. I haven't started it yet. It's in my progress queue. My doodler shawl, my knitted shawl, I have not started. I did wind up the yarn for it. It is living in my very awesome fringe supply bag with all my pins. I have new pins, you guys. Look, I've got a new pin with Tinkerbell, and I've got my Quo podcast pin, and then I've got my Star Wars pin. So I've got some new pins. So I wound up the yarn, and then I made a trip to the local yarn, my local yarn shop, and I decided that I'm going to start the doodler with help. So I signed up for a class, and it's a private lesson next Wednesday, I believe, for 1 hour, just to get me started, because I think I'll benefit from that than trying to start it myself. Even though she's like, this is really what you want to do for your first sending project, are you sure? And I'm like, if Christy Glass' daughter can do it, I can do it. That's just my take on it. I think she's a newish knitter. I don't know. Anyway, the point is, I can do it. I know I can do it because it's a challenge, and I want the challenge, and I want to be able to do it. And so that's why I signed up for a class, and we'll see how that goes. Let's talk FOs. Yeah? Should we talk FOs? Like I said, I don't have a lot. But look at this. Look at that. Isn't she the cutest thing ever? Yes. That is a crochet fortune cookie. Yes. Oh my gosh, she was so fun to make. And I had just ordered some safety eyes the other day, and this is a free pattern and on a blog. It's called hooked.blog. It's by Amy Lapelli, Amigurumi fortune cookie. This is the name. And it was really easy to make. I mean, I was almost thinking about doing like a bulky version of it, like having like a giant fortune cookie, because I liked it so much. I don't know, maybe I'll try that. And what's interesting is that this will only be my third amigurumi that I've ever done. I did a set of cupcakes for my daughter when she was in preschool. Was she in preschool? Yeah, she was in preschool. I made some cupcakes that I gave to them for their play area, which they probably threw away because the whole preschool got torn down. But that's neither here nor there. But anyway, I made that, and then the only other amigurumi thing that I made was my Harry Potter cupcake, which I made this cupcake when I was coming out of a really bad RA flare, and I had just found Crochet podcasts, and the first one, like I said, the first 3 podcasts I've ever watched were Clarissa Beth from Crochet Cakes, Catherine from Crafternoon Treats, and Emma from Potter and Bloom. And then I found Sandra and Betsy, and I found a bunch of other ones. But Clarissa Beth, Catherine, and Emma were the first 3 that I ever saw. And I remember Clarissa Beth talking about her love of Harry Potter, which I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fanatic of Harry Potter. I love I enjoy it. I even know that I am Gryffindor because my other friend Irene, who is a huge Harry Potter fan, made me take the test. So I am Gryffindor. And so just her enthusiasm for Harry Potter. I remember I started rewatching all the movies again. So then I made this little guy. Oops. I made this little Harry Potter cupcake. I just took a cupcake pattern and I just did it in the Harry Potter colors, in his colors. See, it's not perfect, but he's cute, and he lives on my little crochet corner sofa on the side of the sofa when I crochet with my husband and I'm watching videos or Netflix or whatever we're doing, he's there, and then I put my needles or my stitch markers. I just like use him as a little pin cushion. So this is only like the other amigurumi that I've done, and then I've done the fortune cookie. But I think I'm gonna make more. I have a ton of books, of amigurumi books, but I think this year I'll be making more of those just to expand what I'm doing. So now I have to stop the video because I'm going to go and meet the art teachers so that we can have lunch and plan for our first art class of the year, which I'm so excited about. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, I am back. I'm back from lunch and I'm back from my art class. And it was so much fun. We got to teach a first grade class all about colors and the color wheel and lines. And so they were able to do a little project that involved complementary colors. And you should have seen how excited they were. They couldn't wait. I mean, they were clapping their hands, especially after they were told that their project is going to be shown at an arts festival here in Escondido. So that was a lot of fun. So now I'm back. It's later in the afternoon. I had hoped to record a podcast yesterday, but it just didn't pan out that way. But I left off saying I was talking about the amigurumi, and I was telling you guys about how these are basically the two that I've done. But I picked up this book. I actually saw it at Barnes & Noble, but then I ordered it on Amazon because it was way, way cheaper. And it's called Dumpling Cats. Have you guys heard of this book? It's got the cutest things in it. For example, it's got like the amigurumi, and it's got like a little story about the particular amigurumi. The one that I really want to make is one of the little fat cats. Is it this one? Oh yeah, it's this one right here. His name is Meatball. Look at that. He's just so cute. So you can make all of these. There's one that's dressed up as a bumblebee, which I thought was really cute. Another one dressed up as a lion. And then it gives you the pattern for the little box right here. So because they're small, I think they won't take so long to do. And I bought some safety eyes off of Amazon so I can work on some amigurumi, which again is something different that I have not really done. But let's now move on to my other FO is one, actually, my last episode. Okay, so from my last episode, there's two things that I want to clarify. And one, I don't know why, but for the whole of episode 15, I kept saying, referring to Faye of the Crochet Circle Project. And we all know it's a Crochet Circle podcast. Why I couldn't get that right, I have no idea. But as I was editing the video going, not once did I get that right. And I also talked about my FO number 1, my FO number 2, 3, and 5. So I skipped number 4. I don't know why either. So FO number 4 should have been these little fingerless mittens I made for my daughter. And there's no pattern for these. These are basically, I just measured her hand and for the thumb hole right here, and they're just done in double crochet. This is yarn by the lemonade shop called Boardwalk. I bought this yarn a while ago, and when I saw it in skein form like this, or hank, right? This is a hank, right? I'm trying to learn my terms. Look at how beautiful. I love it. I mean, it's just gorgeous. It's called Boardwalk. You see that? Boardwalk by the Lemonade Shop, which I'm a huge fan of the Lemonade Shop. But when I balled it up and it looked like this, I'm like, oh my God, I have no idea what I could possibly make with this yarn. It just looked, I don't know, it looked very challenging to me. And I'm not I'm not a huge fan of color pooling, and I thought maybe in small doses it will look okay, and I went ahead and did them, and I really like them. I really like the way they came out. So she likes them, she wears them. Um, but like I said, there's no pattern. It's just double crochets. And then I double crocheted like a strip, and then I seamed it up, and then I had her put it on, and then I just saw where her little thumb was, and then I just did a little round of single crochet right there. I mean, that's literally all I did. So that would should have been FO number 2 last podcast. So I had that. And let me see, is there any other FOs? I think not crochet. No. Okay, so then I have let me just talk about some of the gifts that I received. One which is frankly just amazing. And if you follow me on Instagram and you saw I went live with this, and I've posted a picture of them on Instagram as well. I had seen Tara of Mitchell's Creation. She posted a photo of a knitted cup cozy, and the cup cozy had sheep in it, had a sheep. So I messaged her and I said, hey, do you think you would be able to turn those into fingerless mittens? Ba-bam. Do you see how fantastic these are? Yes. They have sheep. 1, 2. Oh my god. When I saw these, oh my god, you guys. And look, they came in this really pretty, I mean, the whole package was amazing. Look at the pretty card she sent as well with owls. But this little thing with the care instructions in the back, I thought was amazing. And so again, this is Tara from Mitchell's Creations. I told her, I said, you know, Quaylen from the Quill podcast, he did a loom. He sent me a hat that he did on his loom, which is like the first ever hat I've received like that. And then these are my first pair of hand knitted anything. I've never had anybody hand knit anything for me, and I'm so touched. And I wear these like almost every morning. I love them. They fit me perfect. So this was a gift from Tara. And then my cousin Elizabeth, knowing what a Frida Kahlo fan I am, bought me this great little bag, which I'm using as a little notions case. So I got this, and I got these, and I got yarn. Cousin Evelyn bought this. I was with her when she bought this beautiful merino cashmere yarn from Juniper Moon Farm, and she ended up with a color that she couldn't quite use in her project, so she gifted me a ball of this, a Juniper Farm. Look at this color, and look at this yarn, you guys. Look how it's not like regular, it's like braided. Do you see that? How it looks like a braid? It's like the softest yarn, and I will have to incorporate, this is only 50 grams. Yeah, it's 50 grams, so 147 yards. I would like to incorporate this with some other yarn to make a more substantial project, but this is absolutely beautiful. And like I said, it's the company name is Juniper Farms, and it is merino and cashmere blend. So I got that. But then I was visiting my cousin Cynthia. I happened to go 2 weekends ago. I was at the Getty Center in LA, which is the Getty Museum, which is amazing, beautiful museum. And I stopped by to see cousin Cynthia, and she's, we're talking, and she says, Oh, I don't know if you'd be interested in this, but my coworker's mother passed away and she had yarn. I don't know if this is the kind that you use, but she says I brought the yarn. And so she gifted me several bags of thread yarn, which is the Aunt Lydia's cotton, because I guess her mom, this is the kind of crocheting that she did. I have, I think, 3 bags of this kind of yarn. And I told her, look, I personally don't usually crochet with this kind of stuff, but who's to say I don't? And I always can donate. I know charities to donate to, or I know my cousin Evelyn's aunt crochets only in this stuff, so I thought we could send her some of this. But what I was really touched, and what I really, when I saw it, I don't know, the crocheter in me had a moment, is that she says, I don't know what these things are, but here you go. And they came in these things. I think these are old cigar holders. And it's this co-worker's mom's. It's all of her very fine steel crochet hooks. Do you see that? This one even has a cap on it because it's so fine. So I have inherited a crocheter's tools. And I told her, I said, tell your coworker that her mother's crochet hooks will live on in the home of a crocheter who appreciates and will take care of them and will just enjoy having them. I mean, look at this. I'll show you some more. Look at that. I mean, these are very, I mean, let me see. Can you see how fine that is? And it's so funny. You know what it says? It says USA Boyd, and on one side this says 10 cents. Who knows how long these crochet hooks were in her mother's possession, but I will, if I never use a hook that is so fine as to look like this, if I never use a hook like that, I will cherish these, and they are in a good home, because I think that I'd rather have these and have them go to in the trash, or just, I don't know. I just feel honored to have these in my home. And like I said, I may never use them, and maybe I will. Maybe this will start some kind of crazy doily revolution in my house. I don't know. But that was a lovely, lovely gift. I said, please tell her they're going to a good home. Then that happened, but previous to that, my husband's aunt contacted me and said that her aunt had passed away, and she was a crafting, she just did all the crafts. She had a yarn room, and would I like some yarn? And I said, of course. So she gifted me a lot of yarn. Some of it will have to be donated. It's just too much yarn. There's no way. And I have contacts with an organization, a charitable organization here in Escondido that I know takes yarn donations, so I will be gifting them yarn. But one of the projects that she did say, she asked me if I could finish, is a blanket that her aunt had started. And it's a paid pattern. It's this blanket right here. It's the Cancer Awareness Afghan. If you can see, it's got hearts, and it's got the ribbon right there. And it's by Mary Maxim. This is the person. I looked this up on Ravelry. So you can get this today if you want it, because I don't know when she picked it up. But she had it in she has the hook, which is a 5mm hook. And she had started the blanket. So look at this. There's the ribbon, and there's the heart right there. I'm not really sure. I haven't looked at the pattern. I'm not really sure of the construction of the blanket, how it's done. But I told her I would finish this for her. The yarn is really soft. It's acrylic yarn, because it seemed like all her aunt had was acrylic yarn. But this is really soft yarn. So I told her I will finish this blanket for her. I've got that upside down, I guess. You can see that. I mean, this would be considered filet crochet, I'm assuming. So, yeah, I will be taking on that pattern for her. I love the fact that she trusts me to finish it and do her blanket from her aunt. So then, among the yarns that were in this yarn, it's not a de-stash, but rehoming of this yarn, her aunt never bought just like one color here, one color there. She would buy a blanket's quantity of yarn. So you can imagine, there is no shortage of yarn in my house right now that you can make blankets with. But I found this bag right here that has this really fuzzy, do you see that? Can you see the halo on that? This really fuzzy pink yarn that is, and I'm assuming because 99% of her stash is acrylic, just different kinds of acrylic, that this is kind of some kind of like faux mohair, because it doesn't smell like a natural fiber, but you can see how fuzzy it is. And I am just in love with this fuzziness. And I think that there's enough here for like some kind of, I mean, look at how many balls are in here. There's definitely something that could be made. I don't know that I would make a sweater with it. But a shawl definitely I think would be pretty. It's almost like a cotton candy color. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the color. So I've inherited two people's yarn stash that have passed away. And if you remember back to my episode where I talk about, you know, what to do with your stash, or it was just talking about, you know, collecting yarn and stuff like that. This is exactly the situation that I was referring to. Is like, what happens to your stash when you pass away? I mean, there's neither one of these people had a plan to what to do with their stash, and their loved ones are stuck with, you know, not wanting to just donate it, or just not knowing what to do with it. And I go back to this thing where, like, I tell my husband, something were to happen to me tomorrow, you need to call Evelyn to come get the good stuff, and the rest you could donate. Like, I have a plan in place for my stash, because I just would hate for somebody to just bag it up and donate it to Goodwill. Although, I mean, if it goes to Goodwill, I guess Crochet will be like, hey, hit the jackpot, right? So yeah, that is two pretty big things that I was so touched. I was so happy that I was able to find home for these two stashes. So, what next? Oh, I know what you guys want. You want some fortune cookie cow? I know. Let's talk cows. Let's talk. So I've told you about Rosina's cowl, right? Rosina's doing the Granny Stitch cowl that is running from February 1st, and it's going to run for 6 weeks. Then there is the KCACY cowl that is going to run through March 1st, and that is the ultraviolet cowl. If you want more cowl information, please head over to Faye's Ravelry group, the Crochet Circle podcast Ravelry group. There is a thread there for ongoing cows, and she updates it. She keeps it updated. So you can go in there and see who else, because there's cows everywhere. And like I said, if you can double dip or triple dip, I mean, the more power to you. But I have, let's see, and then I have my box of ornaments cowl that's running all the way up to November 1st. I have created a bundle on my Ravelry group page. There is a tab on the upper right hand side that says bundle. If you click on that, I will be adding crochet ornaments, Christmas ornaments, to that bundle. I think right now there's only 2, so there's not really much that I've added, but already people are sharing some of their ornaments, and so take a look at that. I will be pulling out some prizes. Probably, we'll see. Maybe it'll be a surprise when I pull prizes. We'll see. Let's talk fortune cookie cowl. So please use this hashtag. It's going to be hashtag fortune cookie cowl, so that we can keep tabs as to what is going on. I will now be cracking some fortune cookies. So the way this works, if you have not seen the previous episode, starting on February 16th, which is Chinese New Year, excuse me. Okay, starting February 16th, which is Chinese New Year, the fortune cookie cowl starts. What that entails is, starting today, whenever you see this episode, you can, if you have access to a fortune cookie, crack it open, and whatever that fortune is, you can crochet or knit any pattern, any yarn, as long as you can tie in that fortune to your project. So as long as you can convince me that whatever project you choose is an interpretation of your fortune, you're good to go. It can be any yarn, any pattern, whatever you want to do. Just make sure that when you take a picture of your FO, that you can put in whatever your fortune cookie paper said. If you do not have access to a fortune cookie, today is your lucky day, because I have fortune cookies. So I got some from Panda Express and Pickup Sticks. I think these 2 are from Pickup Sticks. And so I will be cracking these open. You can choose one of these from these 3. It doesn't matter. Or Faye sent me a link to a virtual cookie. Yes, there is a website called www.myfortunecookie.co.uk, and it's just a screen that says, you click on it and then it gives you a fortune. So you can use that as your fortune, or you can use one of my 3 as your fortune, or if you have access to one, that's going to be your fortune. So this is for fun. If you really hate your fortune, just go get another one. I mean, in art school, we were stuck with what we got. It was like, you need to figure out how to interpret that. But you guys, this is for fun. So if you really, 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 really don't like your fortune, just gotta get another one. I mean, or do the cookie online. I mean, it's all for fun. But yes, I will crack open the cookie. I will read the fortune. I will post these 3 fortunes on the Ravelry group, on the thread for the cowl. You can choose one of those, and you can start the cowl on February 16th. I have not picked my pattern. I've not picked, I don't even have an idea. I have no idea because I've been waiting to open the cookies. So this episode has no pattern palooza because I will share my cookie, my fortune, my pattern, and other pattern ideas on the next episode. So let's see what we got. First up is the Panda Express cookie. I hope it's a good one. Oh, well, this is good. You will live a long and prosperous life. See that? That is fortune number 1. Okay. And I'll write it here too so that you can see it. All right. Fortune cookie number 2 is you will make many changes before settling satisfactorily. That would be a hard one to interpret, but I think it's challenging and cool. Here we go. There we go. Again, I'll just write it down here. Fortune cookie number 3 says, you will soon be going on a fun road trip with good friends. That is fortune cookie number 3. You know what? I'm looking at this fortune, and you know what? The first thing that popped into my head is, remember that there was a scarf that was really popular a couple years ago called the road trip scarf? Wouldn't that be great for this one? I like this one. So I'm going to do a 4th fortune cookie, which is the one on the website that Faye sent me, the link. And it says, beauty will surround you, open your eyes to see it. So that's fortune number 4. So hopefully you guys are just sitting there with your fortune cookie and you're opening it up, or you'll be using the link, and I'll put the link on the down bar for the show notes. Quick thing about my show notes. So because I do extensive show notes, I tend to write them out and then I just kind of cut and paste them to the YouTube description box. They're too big. I've had a lot of problems trying to fit all of my notes on there. So what I've done now is I am putting a link to my blog on the description bar, so it takes you to the blog with all of the notes. But for example, since the big thing about this podcast is the Fortune Cookie Cow, I will give you the link to the virtual fortune cookie on the down bar, and I will also write the 4 fortunes on the down bar so you can see it. I think it'll just make it easier that way. So for the main part of what I'm talking about in this episode, I'll just put it right there for you so you're not struggling to find it. So yes, so I will pick from these fortunes the one that I want to do, and then I will share it on the next episode, which should be episode 17, and then we'll be off to go, and I'll put up the chatter thread on the 16th so we can start sharing what we're doing and our fortunes and all that, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun with that. I am really looking forward to it. I've had really good responses to this cow. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how you guys push yourself creatively. You guys know I've been dabbling with all kinds of craziness, like the knitting and the this and the that. And one of the things that I've been trying to do is learn how to sew. I finished, I think, my best sewing project since I started trying to sew. And I'm so excited to show you this. This is gonna be my project bag for the Fortune Cookie Cow, which I haven't even posted a picture on Instagram because I just finished it last night. Oh my god. This is my project bag that I made. Look at this. It's a drawstring bag. It's big, but because I think I'm gonna have a big project. And look at this fabric. I showed it to you on the last podcast. And then I just added this white one with the little polka dots. And I added a handle. Look, it's got a handle. And it's just white on the inside. But look, this is like the best sewing job I've done out of anything I've ever sewed in my life. Like I can't even tell you how proud I am of this bag. And it's got, oh, and I put interfacing on it, so it's kind of squishy. And I did a different kind of casing for the drawstring because I'm trying to find one. I don't want to do zippers. I really don't want to do zippers. I mean, I may do zippers for like notions cases, but I think for yarn, I just like the look of the drawstring. And I made the handle, make sure it fits on my hand. Oh, and then look at this. I ordered little labels with the Crochet Luna logo on it, which I put right there. The only thing I don't like about them is that they are see-through. They're very transparent. They're not solid, so you can see the fabric behind it. So I think what I might do is, and they're iron-ons, but I've ironed it on and I stitched it because I don't want it to come loose. I had a bag with an iron-on label and it peeled right off. So but yeah, look at this. Is my FO, another FO, and I'm so proud of it. I love it. I received a gift from cousin Cynthia while I was visiting her, and it blew my mind. She and her fiance were in the UK, Scotland, and Amsterdam last fall. They usually take these great vacations all over the world. And I had said, look, if you're in Amsterdam and you can visit this yarn shop, I said, I don't need any yarn. Don't bring me back any yarn, because her previous trip to Europe, she brought me a lot of yarn. I said, don't bring me yarn. Just go and take some pictures and send me some pictures. And she did. She sent me some really great pictures. But of course, she brought me yarn. And she got a bag from Stephen and Penelope. And she brought me the most amazing hank of undercover otter. So I don't know if you guys have heard of undercover otter. You probably have if you've been following people who were talking about Vogue Knitting Live in New York last weekend, because they were there. Look at these colors, you guys. Can you just die? Look at that color. I love how the red with this blue. Oh my gosh, look at this. I love this so much. And it smells really good. And I'm like, I want to do something with this right now. It's so beautiful. So she brought me back this one. It's called, I don't even want to say it. Gwen, is it Gwen? I don't know. And this is on their merino nylon, so this would make a perfect pair of crochet socks. Oh my gosh. Faye and I, well, in Faye's last podcast, she was talking about doing a sock along, so I'm going to save this one for the sock along that's going to happen. Oh my god, look at that. Look. Oh, just can't believe it. So in terms of gifts, that's all the gifts that I have, which are pretty amazing and incredible, and I'm so thankful. Now, in terms of stuff that I have purchased, I did go to my local yarn shop this week. I was picking up some yarn and some things for something for a friend of mine who's having a birthday. And oh, I fell in love with this gradient. I'm not a big gradient buyer, or I don't even think I've ever used a gradient yarn. Like one of these cakes, I don't think I have some, I bought some, but I don't think I've ever crocheted with them. But this purple into green, oh, and it's Freya hand painted yarn. This is the make. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. It's 75% wool, 25% nylon. Um, it is a lot of yardage from what I remember. Yeah, 322 yards. So I gotta find something to do with this because I really love the color. And then I found this really cute little stitch marker holder that opens up, and then you can store your stitch markers in there. I really like this. This is really handy, and it's got like extra pieces so that you can break up the compartments even further. But I like that I can store my stitch markers like this better than just storing them all in the same places. And sometimes I'm looking for these kind of stitch markers and then locking ones or really pretty ones. And so now I have a place to store them. And look, I guess I can put this around my neck. I don't know. But I bought extra ones because I will be including some of these in my giveaways this year. I actually bought 4 more, so I've got four of these to give away. And then I also actually bought this a while ago, but I just, when I organized the crochet corner, I found it, and I was really upset actually at first because I'm like, I couldn't find it, but do you see that? Do you see that adorableness? Yeah, that is a Wonder Woman unicorn. I mean, how could I not be the owner of a Wonder Woman unicorn? This is from the lovely Pandia's Jewel. I've bought stitch markers from her. I bought the llamacorn stitch markers from her. This is how she sends you when you buy something because I've bought 2 or 3 times from her, and you always get a card, the Pandia's Jewel. You always get a button, and then you always get the tiniest of little minis to try her yarn, because she's also like this fantastic dyer. Look, from art class, I still have pen washable marker that's not washing off on my hand. Yeah, her name is Julia Wardell, and she is Pandia's Jewels. And yeah, so llamacorn is gonna go in my bag. And then so I bought this one, and then I bought at Michael's, I saw this one. Ooh, that's my big girl dog. That one. I've always been a big Jeff Koons fan. I know some people aren't. I know some people don't like his work, but every time I see one of these, I think of his work. And I actually went to a Jeff Koons exhibit last year and saw one of the sculptures like this, and I loved it. So these two will be, I'll be putting that one here, and then Wonder Woman llamacorn right there. So that should be so cute. I love it. So there was one additional thing that I purchased that I wanted to show you. I thought I was done with my purchases, but then I remembered, because it's like right here in front of my face. I bought, I mentioned to you guys that I was going to do some rug hooking, and I bought a kit. Now, I think it's super lovely the way it's packaged, because how like a sucker for packaging. Like, I like good packaging. I appreciate it. I know it takes work. I know that it's easy to just get something, throw it in an envelope, and mail it off. It's cheaper, it's better, whatever. But when I get something packaged the right way, or the way I think it should be done, I really appreciate it. So this company is called Myra and Jean. So you've got your Myra and Jean bag with the yarns that you need to hook the rug. You know, it's got this pretty color. I love this color. Look at that. It's looking more blue on the screen, but it's actually more like a aqua blue. I mean, it seems to have exactly what I'm gonna need to do the picture, right? Then I've got this crazy contraption I've never used, which I'll have to figure out how to do. But look at this. This is what I got. Her card with my name on it, like that. How crazy is that? Beautiful. Look at that beautiful card. Yeah, I love that. I love the touch. That's a special touch right there. I mean, this is their card. Myra and Jean. They are on Etsy. I will link all this on my show notes. And then I got the frame, which I'm like looking at it going, this is blank. So I guess this is where I start. I don't know. Like, the only downside, I'll tell you right now, there are 0 instructions in this package. I have no idea. I have no idea what to do with this. I have no idea what to do with this. So I'm going to have to YouTube it because this kit has no instructions. But I've seen a couple videos on how to do it, so we'll figure it out. But I was excited. I was excited. I was really excited to get it. But like I said, I was blown away. I mean, this is beautiful stuff. So that is the kit that I got to do my flamingo, and the yarn that I bought at the yarn shop, and the fortune cookie cow, and my fabulous bag that I sewed. I mean, really, honestly, I am so super proud of that bag because I found a tutorial that I really like. I really, really like, and I'm going to link it so that you can see it, because the parts of the bag that she does are the parts of the bag that I was looking to do, which is doing the drawstring casing a little bit different, putting a handle on it, and then just the dimensions of it. I don't know. It just worked out really great. So I'll be making more based on that tutorial. Which, that's why YouTube is so fantastic. And I love people on YouTube because they're giving their time. These tutorials are helping us craft, and they're helping us make things, and they're helping us, you know, just live better lives by crafting. I just really believe that. So that's that. Anything else? Let me see. Anything else? So like I said, no Pattern Palooza on this episode. I will have Pattern Palooza on my next episode because I want to center it around my fortune. And I was even thinking about doing some dyeing myself, like dyeing my own yarn to match whatever project, just to make it an all-encompassing project for me for the fortune cookie cow. So we'll see how that goes. I wanted to mention a podcaster. So you guys know, if you've been watching some podcasts about what's going on with YouTube, I would highly encourage you to subscribe to people's YouTube channel if you like them, if you like their content. I think it means a lot to all of us who are putting these videos up, that we know that they are they're watched and that they're liked. And I mean, not every, like I said, not every podcast is for everyone. Someone asked me to do, they wanted me to list the podcasts that I like. Well, I'm subscribed to a bunch, and I think that I said 30 on my last episode. I think it's more than 30. I will probably do a blog post of all the people that I watch. And then, like I said, if you are someone who just kind of follows some crochet podcasts, but you don't subscribe, that's fine. You could do that. But I know for a lot of people, it means a lot for um, to them that you subscribe to their channel. It's motivating and um, it's inspiring. So I want, like I said, I want to thank my subscribers. I want to thank all the new subscribers that I have. And I would encourage you to support our crochet, our crafting community, um, because you know I love it. I love it. I love being part of the crafting community, and I think we are generous, kind people. And so I would hate for somebody to get discouraged about their channel because for some reason they don't have a lot of viewership, or you never know what YouTube can do. They could be like, hey, if you don't have X amount by X amount, then you can't even have a channel or something like that. So I don't know. I mean, that's not anything that's been said. I'm just saying, let's show support to our crafting podcasters because we love them and we appreciate what they do. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But I was up at way too late because, you know, that's me. I never sleep, almost have a hard time sleeping. So I'm up all kinds of crazy hours of the night. That's why people in the UK sometimes I'm on Instagram like chatting with them and they're like, isn't it like 2 in the morning where you're at? I'm like, yeah, but I'm awake. So, but I was doing something and I was on my computer and I wanted to check YouTube to see if any, um, podcasts had come up or whatever. Whatever I was doing, I was on YouTube. Oh yeah, I was looking at the tutorial for the bag. I kept going back and forth, back and forth. Well, on the side where you get the recommended videos, I saw a podcast name that struck me, and I've never heard of this person. And I've been trying to get a list of all the crochet podcasts that I see, but a lot of people, I guess if you don't have crochet in your name, it doesn't come up. It's just weird. I don't know how that works, but her name is Olive. She is 18 years old, so she is a young crocheter. She's only been crocheting for 2 years. And her channel is called French Fried Crochet. I'll put it down here, French Fried Crochet. And she has various videos, but she's doing more of like a episode 1, 2, 3 type thing with numbers, so that you can see what her first episode was. I couldn't stop watching it. I couldn't stop watching her podcast. She makes little amigurumi toys, and I love encouraging young crocheters, and I love that she is um, basically going at it, saying, you know what, my friends don't crochet. I can't find people to crochet with. And what's interesting is she says, these crocheters that are at these crochet nights or crochet meetups, they want to drink wine. It's not my thing. It's true, Olive. We all want to drink the wine. It's just crochet and wine. Um, so she's looking for a community, and I just couldn't stop watching. Like, I watched all her videos last night. I watched everything. And then I contacted her today. I'm like, I really like your videos. And she had mentioned something about doing like a swap. I'm like, let's swap something. I don't know. Let's just, you know how I am. I'm crazy like that. But really, really like her. And I really want to send her some love. Olive, I want to welcome you to the crochet community. There's lots of us crocheting. There's lots of us that enjoy exactly what you do, which is playing with a yarn and a hook. So keep making videos, and I hope that you meet some great people on here and that they give you good feedback. Like I said, she's very new and she's just lovely. I mean, I really like her. So I just wanted to give her a shout out um, for keeping me company last night. So again, I am Crochet Luna on Instagram, on Ravelry, on Facebook. My my blog is Crochet Luna, and I want to thank everybody who subscribes, who watches, who comments. I love your comments. I love reading them. They're so much fun. Um, I love being part of the community, and I look forward to your CAL ideas and your projects. So it is Friday. I need to get this up like tomorrow. Tomorrow. I need to get this up today because I know a lot of you are waiting to open up your fortune cookies. And I want to wish you all the best. Crochet on, and I will see you soon. So, goodbye.